What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Just getting ready for the gym right now. Got a nasty leg day. It's my posterior day, so we got hamstrings. Predominantly what I'm going to be working on is hamstring and calves. I'm really trying to bring up the hamstrings and calves. So RDLs, seated leg curls, lying leg curls, basic shit, but just really like staying in tune with the intensity and loads. I'm going to go ahead and get this pre down because we're going to go train at a gym that's closer to the apartment. Don't really feel like driving all the way to Alpha Land. I got a date night at around like 9 o'clock tonight, so time's a little short. So, and honestly, this gym's like a little more fire for the grunge shit, so be pretty solid. Food's in, like 3 meals in right now. Carbohydrates on the day right now are about 250 going into the workout, so the pump should be pretty crazy, should have enough energy. I am still on the bulking phase. I'm at about like 236 right now. Fucking heavy, definitely feeling it. Got like 2 or 3 more weeks left. Probably not gonna be bulking up much more in terms of like weight gain, just really gonna try and taper down on the physique, bring conditioning in a little more before we go into a maintenance phase, chill there for a bit, and then kind of see where we are composition wise, and then decide if we need to go into another growing phase or just jump right into a cutting phase. But I'll elaborate on that a little bit later in the video. There are a couple things that I wanted to address, but I'll elaborate on that a little bit later in the video. There's a couple things I want to kind of address with you guys in terms of like where my headspace is with the whole bodybuilding scene, but I'll save that for later context in today's video. I'm gonna go ahead and get this pre in and then head straight to the gym. So I'll catch up with you guys over there. All right, y'all, opening up with lying hamstring curls. I thought they had a seated hamstring curl here, but they don't, so I'm probably just gonna spam these. We'll do 4 sets to failure here. Gonna do 1 more fill out set, 1 more feeder set or warm up set, and then get into my 4 working sets. And then from there, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll probably do some adductors just to help build the width in the thigh. And then move into the primary movement for today's workout, which is going to be RDLs, either barbell or dumbbell. I'm kind of feeling barbell today. We'll see though. We'll see how the lower back's feeling. You know, that should always be aching. Although the scheme is 4 sets of failure, I have a minimum rep target of about 8 reps. I typically Typically, I don't like going any lower than that, especially on accessory movements such as a lying hamstring curl machine. So 8 reps minimum, max we'll probably see is 15. Typically when I'm doing a scheme of 4 sets to failure, the first 2 sets will kind of be a lower rep range, the last 2 sets will be a higher rep range. So just reducing loads to accommodate for fatigue as we progress through the workout. Decided to do a little superset with adductors and abductors. 1, to just get the hips warmed up and get extra volume, obviously, and just try and keep the body as warm as possible. Like I said, it's freezing in Houston today, so I'm having a hard time keeping the body warm. The pump is there, but it's definitely like something I'm continuously having to make sure I'm keeping. So great way. Honestly, this is like a great superset for any leg workout, especially before any type of squat pattern. Supersetting adductors and abductors. You don't have to superset them, but it's obviously the more time efficient way to kind of knock out both of them at the same time. So rep scheme here is still 4 sets of failure, 2 sets in, 2 sets left, with that minimum rep range being about 8 reps and the maximum like around 15 or so. But I'm gonna knock out these 2 sets, hop into calves, and then some deadlifts. Ready? All right, y'all. Moving into the final movement of the workout. which is gonna be dumbbell RDLs. I was gonna do barbell, but honestly, I'm just feeling lazy and don't feel like putting the weights on the bar and shit. And I get a better stretch with dumbbells, so I'm gonna do a couple feeder sets, kind of see where we are strength-wise, and then here we're gonna do 3 working sets, a rep range of 8 to 12, and that's pretty much gonna be it. Gonna go home, get ready, get some food in me, and I think tonight I'm gonna have a nice steak dinner with a nice glass of fucking red wine, bro. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the vlog. It's the following day. My legs are absolutely cooked from yesterday's session. Woke up this morning, barely even able to get out of bed and walk. So hit some mobility. Woke up a little late today, around 10:30. I usually try to sleep in on Sundays to kind of just catch up on missed sleep throughout the week. But got a few errands to run, got to re-up on groceries, need to get a car washed. The Trackhawk is absolutely filthy. I feel like a scumbag driving it around. But as you guys know, it's pretty much, I'm actually putting you guys on game because I don't think I've told you guys the name of the coffee shop yet. Maybe I have, but if I haven't, had to do the Sunday ritual. Giant Leap Coffee, ISS, oat milk. Try it out if you're in the Houston area. It's right here in the Post Oak like Plaza. 10 out of 10, fire coffee, gets the day started. Super like just tasteful. And one of my pet peeves when I go into Starbucks or whatever is like they burn the coffee beans. Here it's like perfect condition every time. Like they don't miss. So check that out. I'm about to head to Trader Joe's, HEB, and then Whole Foods. It's gonna be pretty busy. Stores are like pretty chaotic around this time, so probably not gonna vlog that much inside the store. Just gonna try and get in, get out. So I'll catch up with you guys when we finish that. All right, so I just got back from the grocery store. As you can see, we're chefing it up. So typically on Sundays, I have my red meat meals, which I did have steak and wine last night, but the restaurant I went to, honestly, the steak was pretty mid, so I was like, I can't let that be like the only red meat meal I have this week. So I got a, this is 12-ounce ribeye from Whole Foods, grass-fed, grass-finished, and it's also dry aged. So the flavor on this, the marbling, absolutely immaculate, like phenomenal. So just season that up with some peaked Himalayan sea salt. I just salt my meat, and then after, pause. I just salt my meat, pause again, and then after I'll do the peppers, and the reason for that is typically the black peppers will like burn if you're cooking at high heat, which is obviously something you don't want. So this is pretty much good to go, going for a medium rare finish on this. I'll pull this off and I'll let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes to just let everything stabilize, let all the juices flow back into the center of the cut, so everything is nice and juicy when you cut into it and get into serving. And then to complement that, I seen this dish at the restaurant last night. It's like burrata, which is a cheese right here, kind of like a mozzarella texture. Well, it's a mozzarella cheese, but you'll see how these come out. Essentially, like it's like gooey, creamy, wet cheese in the center of this cheese ball. But they had this dish last night. I didn't get it because it was like just OD. It's basically just like sourdough bread. I think they did ciabatta bread, roasted tomatoes, basil, and then the burrata cheese on top. So I got the bread going in the oven right now at 350. Just threw some olive oil, balsamic glaze on top, sliced tomatoes really, really thin, threw them on top. Probably give it about 5 more minutes. I'll pull it out, salt it, cut the cheese, split it, throw it back in there on broil to get everything nice and crispy. I'll show you guys what I mean by this burrata cheese. So bread's nice and toasted, has a nice crispy texture to it. Everything's nice and bedded. Tomatoes are roasted, not dried out, but just perfect. So we're gonna place that on top. Take a knife, slice it down the middle, spread it out. Now, is this absolutely the most healthy thing? No, absolutely not. But Sundays are typically my flex days. I like to enjoy my food on these days because the diet is pretty clean. Monday through Friday, Saturdays kind of just depends the vibe me and Vic are in. Lately, we've kind of been going out to eat a little too much. So definitely trying to transition out of that and just do more home cooked meals. Obviously, when you're cooking your meals at home, as opposed to going out to eat, you can absolutely control and mandate everything that goes into it. I'd rather make this at home, spend around the same amount of money, and get a much higher quality meal. Like, I'm hand selecting the beef that I choose, hand selecting the ingredients that go into this burrata toast, which like organic burrata cheese, tomatoes, fresh sourdough bread. It's like, you can't really beat this, and it's really just beneficial, especially if you have like physique goals, to not be going out to eat as much. And I'm very well aware of that, but like I said, at heart, always going to be a foodie. But in order to curve that, I'm gonna start incorporating meals like this a little more into my diet. But without getting into like the whole full day of eating aspect of this video, look at that screen, how big that shit is.
Alright, Harry,
Might have to trade in the track for a TRX, bro. It's a beautiful truck. Should I trade in the Trackhawk for a TRX? It's been something I've been thinking about for quite some time. Obviously, the most optimal situation is to just have both, but that's a crazy car note. But who knows? Who knows what this year holds? Maybe I'll be in a position to where I can keep both. Obviously, with the Trackhawk, I mean, both cars, they don't make anymore. Obviously, the Trackhawk, they haven't made since 2021 is the last, I think, yeah, 2021 is the last time they rolled them out. I got a 2019. Obviously, these cars are like, on a numbers game, they made less Trackhawks per year than they did Dodge Demons when they first rolled a Dodge Demon out. So it's like, obviously, that vehicle is always going to hold its value, and the TRXs hold their value too, but not quite as high as the Trackhawks do. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's been something I've been considering, so I guess we'll have to see. I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts. Let me know, Trackhawk or TRX? Drop them in the comments. All right, y'all. Getting to basically the conversation that I've been hinting at throughout the entire video, to kind of just bring it to the forefront without beating around the topic. I'm at a position right now to where I'm trying to decide if pursuing this lifestyle of bodybuilding is something that I want to continue doing. And there's three main reasons for that. The most primary reason, for those of you who've been following the channel since the beginning, is a health issue. So I've been having a lot of battle with my cholesterol and my lipid profile. And just as it starts to get better and improve, obviously with the nature and the sport of bodybuilding, there's a lot of things that you do that can kind of negate positive benefits of your health. So with that being said, I got blood work done a few weeks ago, got the results back. Lipid profiles, which were on track and improving, are now back in an area where we no longer want them to be. So I was talking to Joe Brightman, my coach, and yeah, I think we are kind of in a position right now to where we either keep pushing and accept the negative health outcome that could be a possible return of just pushing forward with PED use, food use, things of that nature. And at this point in my life, maybe sometime last year, a couple years ago, if you asked me this question, I would be 100% positive and assuring to proceed with this route. But at this point in my life, I don't know if that is something that I want to take on. 26 years old, have a long life ahead of me, and I want to make sure that I'm doing everything possible to live a long, fruitful life. So that is the primary reason. And I think the other two factors that are kind of contributing to my current stance and my current mindset are the fact that I'm in a completely different position than I was last year in terms of my career. I'm at a point right now where my career is finally taking off. I'm in a good position to really grow and build and absorb as much knowledge and information as I can in the design space with product design. So I feel like there's been a monumental shift in my mindset and my priorities. I find myself more concentrated and more passionate and more in love with the process of creating product, building self-brand, as opposed to previously when bodybuilding was really my only outlet. I mean, I was trying to figure things out. I moved out to Houston back in 2021, really no game plan, and I was kind of just trying to find my way. And through that process, I had a lot of outlets that helped me kind of mitigate the mindset that I was in, and bodybuilding was that. And I think it will always be that. Health and fitness is always going to be a part of who I am. It's always going to be a part of my brand identity and a part of my routine. That is a facet of life that I'll never be able to give up. But I think the approach and the way that I execute that going forward, at least for the time being, is going to be a lot different than the past year, in the past 2 years. So it's going to be a lot different than it was a year ago. And for all the reasons that I explained previously, that is the main reason why I'm probably going to make the transition. Not probably, I'm going to make the transition into just focusing on my health, improving a lot of the negative habits that I have currently, and really doing everything that I can to put myself in a position so when the time comes and I want to step back into the lifestyle and the scene of bodybuilding, I'm able to do so without having, the cautious approach of being super cautious about my health. Obviously, you always have to be very aware of your health, especially in the competitive bodybuilding scene. But at the rate in which I do it, there's a lot of things to where I hold back on in terms of protocol, because I know it's going to have a negative health outcome on my lipid profile. And essentially, if you get that to a point where you can no longer improve it or bring it back down, you increase your risk of a lot of things like heart attack. And that is definitely not something that I want to be faced with. So from this point forward, I'm going to be transitioning. I guess you can call it like a hybrid program, but in reality, I'm just going to be focusing on a lot of health factors. So improving the diet, improving the cardiovascular health. And honestly, I feel like this is going to be a very great time for me to address and treat a lot of lingering injuries and issues that I have with imbalances, joint pain, things of that nature. But that's really what I wanted to cover. And I just wanted to be completely transparent and honest with you guys. I know a big premise of this channel was built around the lifestyle of bodybuilding and the hopes of competing, but unfortunately, sometimes life throws you things and you just got to take it on the chin, adapt to it, adapt to the adversity, and then figure out what the next plan and the next step is going forward. And nothing's going to change about the channel in terms of the content, the information, what I provide. But I do feel like branching out of this niche of bodybuilding is going to allow me to exploit a lot of the other things that I wouldn't necessarily want to share on the channel because it was encompassed around one thing. So as I'm going through this new transition and this new phase in life, I'm very eager, very interested, and very in tune with providing you guys a different realm of who I am. I have a lot of facets to me. Bodybuilding is a small percentage of that. So opening up into this new journey, I'm really looking forward to sharing it all with you guys and just a form of documentation. It's going to be really just unique to see how this plays out. I don't really know what the future holds, right? We never really do. But one thing for sure is my passion and my drive for building this self-brand is always going to be there. And that's what I'm going to be set out to do. And I just hope you guys continue supporting. I appreciate everything that you guys have provided me, all the insight, all the feedback up until this point. Let's continue to build this community. Let's continue pushing. Looking forward to starting this new journey with you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.